Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Advanced CapCut tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 15, where I'll be showing you guys about the cinematic color grading in CapCut. So let's not waste much time. I'll be showing you guys how you can create a normal clip to a cinematic clip using color grading as well as adding different kind of texts and also animating those as well. So let's get started. So over here, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the home page of CapCut. The first thing you're going to do over here is basically create up a new project. Okay, so let's come here. Let's click on create project, which will basically lead me to the interface in which we are going to work on. Okay, so this is basically the interface in which we gonna work on. And now the next part of the video is that we need to import the video over here into this import panel. Okay, so now let's click on import. Okay, and you guys can just locate the place where you have saved that file. Now let's come down. I will take this portrait video and I can just open it up right over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, now this particular video is in preview mode. And also if you don't have those videos in your PC, instead what you guys can do is you guys can go to your stock materials, and usually you guys can search the type of videos you're looking for, and also there are different niches as well. You guys can take it from there as well. So once I have imported my video here in this import panel, now let's drag it down over here in my timeline. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is the video which is over here. Now if you want me to play this thing, you guys can see this is how the video is going to look like. Okay, but now the most important part about this is that I need to make sure that I do a proper color grading. Okay, and for color grading, the first thing what I need to do is you guys can just go and you guys can just apply different kind of filters. Okay, you guys can apply different kind of effects. And also if you just go to this adjustment panel, you guys can also get different kind of LUTs. Okay, like you guys can just try different kind of LUTs, like how they actually look. These are few of the pre-built LUTs which you guys can actually use. Okay, so now if you just click on to this plus sign, you guys can see this particular LUT is basically being added over here on my video. And also from here you guys can increase or decrease the intensity of the LUT. Maybe I'll just keep it to 70%. And also you guys can change the type of LUT from here as well. Okay, so let's take this adjustment layer back again. And if you have in your video, like if you have any person inside, make sure to use this particular option, which is protect skin tone. So what it basically does is it turns on to make skin tones more natural. Okay, like it will make it more natural, and the LUT which you have applied, it won't affect the skin quite like that. So automatically what CapCut does is it understands that what are the things available inside a video. It analyzes it and it gives you the thing accordingly. So now let's come here. I will just give a protect skin tone, and also now over here individually, if you want to increase the temperature, let's say I will just decrease the tint a little bit. And now if you want it a bit on the red side, okay, you guys can see with more saturation how it actually looks. Let me just increase the saturation by 8%, and also you guys can just increase the exposure maybe by 5%. Okay, and you guys can just decrease the contrast maybe by 5% as well. You guys can increase the highlight, and now you guys can also work on with the shadows. Okay, so I will just decrease the shadows maybe minus 25 over here if you do want to focus on the whites. Okay, so let me just go with 10%, and you guys can also focus, maybe I'll put 5% blacks, and over here you do have the option of brilliance. Okay, so it lightens up this particular thing. So let me just put it minus 5 over here. And the next thing is that if you do want to sharpen this image or this particular set of video, maybe I'll sharpen it to 25%. You guys can just check out the clarity. I'll put it 50% over here. And if you do want to fade this video, I will put out a fade of 30%, and you guys can work on with the vignette, which I will just keep it neutral. And also you guys can just go to this HSL option. Okay, so you guys can individually pick colors. Let's say I want to make a change the tint of red, or let's see what are the color visible over here. So if I just go on with the yellows, okay, if I just increase or decrease the saturation, I can do that. Let me just go on with the blues. Okay, increase the saturation, the lightness. Okay, you guys can make those changes. And also under curves, okay, you guys can basically add a point. Okay, so let's say I will just add out a point right over here, and also I will just add a point over here as well. Okay, so I have added 2 points over here, and also this red color. Okay, if you do want to give it a bit of color, let's add out a bit as well to give it out a more cinematic look. Okay, and if you do want to focus on the blues, okay, you guys can also focus on the blues a little bit, and maybe decrease a bit right over here. Okay, so now if I just play this particular video, you guys can see how it actually looks. Okay, so you guys can see the stunt right over here, and it does give a more realistic look. So my adjustment over here is basically done. Okay, so the next thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I'm going to assess the whole video. Okay, so from here I have already taught you guys about the reverse effect, like how you can have a reverse effect over here. So now let's come here, let's mark the important point of the video where you do want to put out a cut. Okay, so let's pause this video right over here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to click on B from my keyboard, which will give me the split mode. So I'll just click on B, and here you guys can see I do have the blade, and the place where I do have kept my cursor. Okay, so it will just snap to that point and I can just make out a cut. Okay, so now let's play it up again and till landing. So again, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put another cut to it, and now if I just want to get the selection tool back again instead of this razor tool, I will click on A from my keyboard, and now I do have my selection tool. Okay, so these are few of the shortcut keys which you need to make sure that you know while you're working. Okay, so now let's come here, and as you guys can see, this is the part I am looking for. So now let's right click and I will just click on copy and right click and paste it. Okay, so you do have paste this particular part, and now I will turn off the main track magnet over here, and let's place it right over here just beside. Okay, and now let's see how this particular video actually looks. And this is actually playing back again. So I'm gonna right click over here and I'm going to reverse this video which I had put. So right click, let's go to edit option, and from edit I will click on reverse. Okay, so it's just reversing my clip. So it might take some time, and sometimes it happens very quickly like this. So now let's play this thing up and let's see, and you guys can see how it actually looks. Okay, so again, once this effect is done, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to right click, and now I am going to click on copy, and now again I'm going to paste. Okay, so now I will just move this one up right over here, and let me just increase it, and let's see the effect. You guys can see this is the effect of how it actually looks. Okay, so now let's come here. I will just place this one right over here. Let's place it. uh let's place it back over here again. And now if I just turn on the magnet, now let's try to see how this actually looks. Okay, so this is the video right over here. Here's the jump and back again, and this is how it will basically end. Okay, so it just gives a more realistic effect. And now the next thing what I'm gonna do over here is I'm going to go into the effects panel. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I'm going to apply this one at first. Okay, so let's come here and I'm going to apply this particular effect at the beginning. Okay, so let's come here, and I have applied this TV on, so you guys can see this is how it's going to start. So let me just keep it right over here, and once it reaches this particular part, I'm going to put on some other effects. Okay, so there are a lot of it which you guys can actually apply. Okay, so you guys can just click on those and you guys can just see how it actually works. Okay, so you guys can see this is how it's going to look like. So you guys can just put on this right over here, which is the astral. Okay, so let me just keep it right over here, and I'll just keep it right over here as well. Let's play this one, and you guys can see this basically gives up a very nice effect. Okay, and once you have put this as well, you guys can just give other one, like I will just type blink, and let's see what are these options. Here you guys can see I have one options which is known as the black flash. Okay, so you guys can just apply it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put this black flash right over here on top till here, and now I will see how this actually looks. Okay, so this is how it's going to start, and after that here you guys can see the flash and it basically ends quite like that. So you guys can also change the speed of the splash. I'll just keep it 25, and for astral you will be able to change the range and also the speed. Let me just come here, let me just put it to 30, and also I will just put the range to 90. And for TV1 effect, you guys can check out the lateral chromatic abbreviation, the strength, the speed, and also the longitudinal chromatic abbreviation. Okay, so each and every effect they do have their own options. So the more you try, the more you know, and also the more you will be able to segregate the ones you basically like. So to start a video with this particular effect looks kind of nice. So that's how it started, and you guys can see how it actually goes back and it's done. Okay, so over here now let's come and let's put on some text which we can basically use. Okay, so under text, if I just go on to the text option, there is this default text box which you can use. Okay, but instead you guys can also use different kind of text templates which are just pre-made titles which you can use inside any of your video. There are also different kind of effects. Okay, so on the effects there are trending effects. Okay, there are basic ones. Okay, so you guys can just choose which one you like accordingly. So there is this auto captions option, and if you already have a video or what is it, the caption of your video, if let's say you have a video and also you do have the soft copy of that caption which you want to put just beneath the video, you guys can import that file and make sure to upload it into or apply it into your video. So now let me just go with add text, and let's add a default text box. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna see how it actually looks. Okay, so let me just come right over here, and I will be placing the text box somewhere here, maybe on top somewhere. So in that case, now let's come to this properties panel, and in the properties panel I am going to just type, I will just use all the capital letter, site cycling is fun. Okay, so just a random text. And after that, you guys can also make it bold. Okay, so you guys can just make it bold, and also you guys can change the type of text or font you guys gonna use. Let's say now let's come right over here, and if you do want to align it in any other sides, you guys can also align it any other sides as well. Okay, so if you do want to change things, okay, you guys can change things as well. Let's check out with different colors. Well, you guys can just change on with different colors. Let's say I will just put out this color, and also you guys can come here and maybe put out a border to it. Okay, so there are also different presets which you guys can actually use. So let's come here, and eventually this is how it actually looks. If you do want to move it on to the right hand side a little bit, you guys can just move this one to the right hand side a little bit. Okay, so that is how it actually looks. And also let's select this particular text box, and after that, if you want to use any of these options where you want to set your text inside any of these bubbles, you guys can do that. And there are also different effects which you can use. And now let's directly go on to this text animation options. Okay, now let's see how you want your text to come in. Okay, so you guys can come here and you guys can just check how you want your text to appear on the screen. Let me just go on with the typewriter. over here. Okay, so let's here, let's apply the typewriter, and for out, let me just go on with this glitch. Okay, so I will just put on the glitch right over here, and now let's see how it actually looks. Okay, so this is how I basically wanted this, and here you guys can see the effect really looks nice. And as the text is already done, you guys can see the text is done, the editing is almost done as well. And if you do want to play it in a loop itself, you guys can also do that. So well, everything is basically done right now, and what I'm gonna do over here is I'm going to go into the audio section, and from the audio section I can basically choose any kind of audio. Let's search with the same keyword, which is cycling, and let's see what are the audio recommendations over here. So you guys can also hear it out.
弹幕前也成记得把冒烟压的路苦不记的经历别说。
Let's go.
弹幕前也
So let's apply this particular audio over here, and now let's click on B from my keyboard to get that particular razor. Let's put out a cut. A again to take my selection tool. Now let's click on delete, and now I will just click on Shift and Z to zoom to fit here in the timeline. So now time for the final result of the
弹
video.
幕前也成记得把冒烟压的路苦不记的经历别说。操你妈逼！我不当个苏木短期忘记生活多垃圾，可能世上大多公民和平都是作假戏。
So yeah, this was the video which I do have created using color grading. We have used how you can reverse it, which we have already learned, but to show you guys a project quite like this, we have used different kind of effects, also manipulated their positioning. We have also used text and also applied different colors as our liking to it. So now let's click on export, and now let's name this one as cinematic color grading. Let's choose the location. Where do you want to export it? This is the resource file. So as everything is done, now I will just click on export, and this particular file will get exported. So yeah, I hope to see you all in the next chapter, where we're going to learn more about CapCut and its usage. So see you all in the next chapter.